A shadow falls on Whitechapel, the victims and the terror. Disclaimer: this is a fictionalized account based on historical records and research. The true lives of these women were undoubtedly more complex and nuanced. The authenticity of the From Hell letter and its connection to the Ripper murders remains subject of debate among historians and criminologists. This video aims to present a fictionalized account of the events surrounding Jack the Ripper, focusing on the lives of his victims and the impact of the From Hell letter on the City of London. It is not intended to cause any harm to anyone. The fog clung to the gas lamps of Whitechapel, each flickering flame casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to whisper secrets. In this grim corner of Victorian London, a reign of terror had gripped the city. 5 women, victims of a brutal killer known only as Jack the Ripper, had been found mutilated and discarded like refuse. Mary Ann Nichols, or Polly, her face etched with the lines of hardship, was a woman worn down by life. Born in 1845, she had known only poverty and instability. Her marriage had brought little respite, offering only a brief period of domesticity before descending into alcoholism and domestic abuse. By the time she crossed paths with the Ripper, she was a solitary figure, seeking shelter and solace in the cheapest of lodgings. On August 31st, 1888, her body was found in Buck's Row. Her throat had been slashed twice, and her abdomen brutally mutilated. The ferocity of the attack shocked the city and set the stage for the escalating violence that would follow. Annie Chapman, with her fiery red hair and a spirit that once burned bright, presented a stark contrast to the melancholic Mary Ann. Born in 1841, she had known periods of comfort and even prosperity. But the death of her husband and a subsequent descent into poverty and alcoholism shattered her fragile stability. She sought solace in the company of other women on the fringes of society, a fragile community facing the harsh realities of Victorian London. On September 8th, her body was discovered in the back of a building in Hanbury Street, her throat severely cut and her abdomen extensively mutilated. The ferocity of the attack on Annie Chapman heightened public fear and intensified the manhunt for the elusive killer. Elizabeth Stride was a Swedish immigrant who arrived in England seeking a better life. Though she initially found work as a laundress, misfortune followed her from Sweden. The death of her husband and the subsequent loss of her job plunged her into a precarious existence. Like many women of her time, she turned to prostitution as a means of survival, a desperate act born of necessity rather than choice. On September 30th, her body was found in Dukefield's yard, her throat slashed. However, the mutilations were minimal, suggesting the killer may have been interrupted. This deviation from the previous attacks fueled speculation about whether the killer was changing his modus operandi, or if another perpetrator was involved. Catherine Eddowes, a woman of Irish descent, was known for her fiery temper and independent spirit. She was a survivor, having overcome numerous hardships throughout her life. but her resilience could not shield her from the harsh realities of poverty. Forced into prostitution to make ends meet, she navigated the dangerous streets of Whitechapel with a wary eye, ever conscious of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. Later that same night, on September 30th, her body was discovered in Mitri Square, her throat slashed and her abdomen brutally mutilated. A portion of her kidney had been removed, and a chilling message was found scrawled on a nearby wall. The chilling message read, "The Jews are not the men to be blamed for nothing." This murder, occurring within hours of Stride's murder, further fueled public hysteria and intensified the focus on the possibility that there were multiple killers. Mary Jane Kelly, the youngest of the Canonical Five, embodied the tragic consequences of poverty and desperation. Born in 1863, her childhood was marked by neglect and abuse. She fled her troubled home at a young age, seeking refuge in the anonymity of London. But the city proved to be a harsh mistress, offering little more than fleeting moments of joy and a constant struggle for survival. A struggle that ended on November 9th, when her body was found in her single-room lodging, horrifically mutilated. The extent of the violence, with extensive internal injuries and mutilations, shocked even the most seasoned police officers. This final murder, with its extreme brutality, marked a chilling escalation in the killer's violence and remains one of the most gruesome and disturbing cases in the history of the Ripper investigations. These were not simply statistics or faceless victims. They were women, each with their own dreams, their own sorrows, their own unique place in the tapestry of human existence. Marianne Nichols, the wary soul; Annie Chapman, the fiery spirit; Elizabeth Stride, the immigrant seeking a better life; Catherine Eddowes, the survivor battling poverty; and Mary Jane Kelly, the young woman fleeing a troubled past. Each of their lives, though cut tragically short, serves a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of the human condition and the enduring power of social injustice. The public, desperate for answers, clung to any shred of information, any whisper of the killer's identity. And then a letter arrived. Postmarked October 15th, 1888. It was addressed to George Lusk, the chairman of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, a group of concerned citizens who had formed to assist the police in their hunt for the Ripper. Inside, a chilling message awaited. From hell. Mr. Lusk, sir, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman. Preserved it for you. The other piece I fried and ate it. Was very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only wait a while longer. Signed, Catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk. Accompanying this macabre missive was a small box containing half of a preserved human kidney, believed to be from Catherine Eddowes. The letter, now infamous as the From Hell letter, sent shockwaves through the city. Was this a genuine taunt from the Ripper, or a morbid hoax designed to capitalize on the public's fear? The letter, written in crude, almost childlike scrawl, was filled with grammatical errors and misspelled words. Some dismissed it as the work of a deranged copycat, a twisted attempt to gain notoriety. Others, however, believed it to be a chillingly authentic glimpse into the mind of the killer. The inclusion of the preserved kidney added a chilling layer of authenticity, fueling public hysteria and adding a layer of cannibalistic horror to the already terrifying crimes. The From Hell letter, despite its unsettling nature, offered few concrete clues. The handwriting was difficult to decipher, and the letter itself was filled with rambling, nonsensical phrases. The mention of fried and ate, the other half of the kidney, fueled public hysteria and added a layer of cannibalistic horror to the already terrifying crimes. The letter also raised questions about the killer's mental state. Was he truly deranged, driven by a morbid fascination with violence and death? Or was he a calculating individual, using the letter to taunt the authorities and manipulate public opinion? The From Hell letter remains a chilling artifact of the Ripper murders, a window into the twisted mind of the killer who continues to fascinate and terrify. Whether it was a genuine message from the Ripper or the work of a deranged copycat, the From Hell letter serves as a chilling reminder of the terror that gripped Whitechapel in the autumn of 1888. Disclaimer: this is a fictionalized account based on historical records and research. The true lives of these women were undoubtedly more complex and nuanced. The authenticity of the From Hell letter and its connection to the Ripper murders remains subject of debate among historians and criminologists. The authenticity of the From Hell letter and its connection to the Ripper murders remains subject of debate among historians and criminologists. This video aims to present a fictionalized account of the events surrounding Jack the Ripper, focusing on the lives of his victims and the impact of the From Hell letter on the City of London. It is not intended to cause any harm to anyone.